Today we're going to be doing a dual motor infraction build.
And the cool part about this build is that it will have the potential of beating the Guinness World Record for the world's fastest RC car. And that car hit the top speed of 202 miles per hour.
I actually just got this infraction and I said to myself, if I hit 100 miles per hour with this infraction stock, that's when I'm going to take it apart and make a cool build. First day out, I actually hit 100 miles per hour, totally stock, which is pretty crazy. So with that being said, let's get this thing taken apart. We just ran into our first problem, and it's actually a very big problem. So the way that this is going to be a unique build is I want one motor with the motor mount and the gearing for the front two tires, and then I want another motor mount with the motor mount and the gearing for the rear two tires. What I didn't realize until I just started taking this apart was this chassis is actually stamped. I can't get the motor mount to sit flat on this metal chassis, so it looks like, unfortunately, this idea isn't going to work with the stock metal chassis, so I'm going to have to order a carbon chassis because those are all flat. It's kind of a bummer, so this is going to be delayed, and then next time you see us, we'll be back at it with a carbon chassis. All right, we're back in my shop. Last time we pulled my car apart, we realized that I'm a klutz, and I drove all the way out there for no reason because all I had to do was look at the chassis and realize that it wouldn't have worked because Arma puts that stamp in the chassis. And that's a good thing because it provides rigidity, especially when we're talking about whatever that aluminum is. It tends to bend pretty easily, so a stamp makes it a little bit more rigid. But the problem with that stamp is it's getting in the way of my new motor mount that I want to put in the car. And so here we are with the solution. And the solution is right here in this box. Oh, check it out, guys. Carbon fiber chassis. Look at that. Scorch RC, check this out, guys. We have a carbon fiber chassis. That is beautiful. All right, let's get this thing bolted up and let's see if it actually is gonna work. Now that we got this all assembled, it's time to continue to take this apart so we could transfer everything we take off of this right onto that. All right, guys, this is the moment of truth to see if this is actually going to work. I have my motor mount, my PBS motor mount, and this is going to be the moment of truth, like I said, because if this doesn't fit, then I don't know what to do. We already spent a ton of money on this chassis, so it better work. Let's just mock this up. Let's see how far this goes forward. That's cutting it really close, guys. So it looks like it might have to be on an angle like that. It's just like a little bit too long. I wonder if I have to run this. So the question is, guys, do I want to run this with the drive shaft on a little bit of an angle? Or it looks like I could even cut this down right here. Just trim it up a little bit to get the motor mount a little bit more that way. So see how like that's blocking it, but if it was over there, it's a little bit more straight. Basically right now, the problem we're having is that this piece right here is getting in the way of the mount. So the mount needs to be here, but it's like just too long for the mount to fit in order to keep the drive shaft perfectly straight. What we're gonna do is we're actually gonna cut right here, and I think once we take this off, it'll allow the motor mount to sit all the way up here and then it's going to be able to keep the drive shaft nice and straight, just like this. All right, so just like with everything else, the build's fighting us a little bit because this is something that's never been done before. This is mounted in, and we know that the drive shaft works for the front diff, but for the rear diff, because this has never been done before, there are no like preset holes or anything like that. So what we did was we put the short drive shaft in, and it looks like in order to make it fit, it would have to be pretty much touching the drive cups. So the idea now is to actually cut this drive cup right here. And that's going to give us more room to mount this perfectly. So this motor is going to be here, and then that motor is going to be there. And then we're going to break the world record. We're able to file this down, and now there's plenty of room to make this work. So now we just got to figure out how to drill it perfectly, but that looks so sick, guys. Made a little template. Now it's time to start drilling. All right, guys, and we got the power plant. So it's going to be 2 of these 1717 1650 kV motors, and then 2 Mamba Monster X 8S ESCs. This is going to be an insanely powerful combo. Oh, yeah. Check that out, guys. That is a beast motor, and there's going to be 2 of them. Guys, this looks so cool. So we've got the motors mounted up here. It looks so cool, guys. I am so freaking pumped to get this thing on the road. But the next thing is for layout purposes, because I want to be able to put the batteries on the side here. I'm thinking what we're gonna do is put the ESCs. We have the Mamba Monster X 8S ESCs. We're gonna take them, and I'm thinking we'll probably do something like this. So one here, and then one right here is where I'm thinking. That's gonna leave plenty of room on the sides here to put a battery here and a battery here to be able to run 8S on both these motors. But I mean, obviously for the first test, we're gonna do just one single 4S. But yeah, so I think that's where we're at. I just got the rear diffuser back on, the rear body post mount, so everything's looking good. I got the diff fluids in, so really the next step of the project will be soldering up the ESCs, double checking the placement to make sure I want to put it here. The scary thing is that if they're right here, we have the spur gears here, and sometimes at high speeds that these will actually spark and send stuff right into the ESC if it's right there. So I may make some sort of shield here to protect the ESC. But looking at the car, I think aesthetically it looks really amazing there, but also just for keeping in mind space, that might be where it has to go. So all right, guys, well, I will see you in the next video where we finish the build and potentially start driving the car. So if you want to see this build, make sure you're liking and subscribing this video so you can check out the next one and you don't miss it. See you there.